June 12th, 2025, Ahmedabad Airport. The morning sun glistens over the runway as Air India Flight 171, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, prepares for its journey to London. On board are 230 passengers and 12 crew members. Some travel for work, others to reunite with family, and some simply in search of new beginnings. At the controls, a veteran captain, this one of his final flights before retirement. Little does anyone know, fate has something else in store. At 13:38 local time, Flight 171 begins its takeoff roll. The engines roar, the aircraft accelerates, climbing toward the skies. Seconds later, disaster. Both fuel control switches, critical to keeping the engines alive, suddenly shift from run to cutoff. In an instant, both engines shut down. The cockpit fills with chaos. The ram air turbine deploys, the auxiliary power unit starts. Pilots desperately try to restart at least one engine. But there is no power, no thrust, only silence as the Dreamliner begins to lose altitude. On the ground, witnesses look up in horror. The aircraft, just seconds into flight, is falling from the sky. A desperate mayday call crackles through before going silent. The plane clips trees, scrapes a chimney, and with a deafening crash, slams into the BJ Medical College hostel in Meghani Nagar, less than a mile from the runway. Flames erupt, black smoke fills the sky. The pride of India's fleet is reduced to twisted wreckage in seconds. The tragedy is overwhelming. Of the 242 souls on board, only one survives, a British Indian man pulled from the wreckage against all odds. On the ground, 19 more lives are lost, 67 injured. Students from the hostel, doctors, families, children, all caught in the destruction. Across India, across the world, grief spreads like wildfire. Social media floods with tributes. Celebrities and leaders express shock. Rescue teams work tirelessly, but the devastation is beyond word. Investigators begin piecing together the final seconds. Data shows both fuel switches moved to cutoff. But how? Mechanical fault? Human error? Or a design oversight ignored too long? Clues emerge. A 2018 FAA bulletin had warned that locking mechanisms on these switches could fail if not maintained. But inspections were never made mandatory, and now hundreds are gone. Airlines worldwide rush to inspect their Boeing 787s. Regulators demand answers. Questions hang heavy in the air. Could this have been prevented? Amid the wreckage, rescuers find something almost miraculous: a copy of the Bhagavad Gita, untouched by fire or debris, lying open among the ashes. For many, it becomes a symbol of strength, a reminder that even in great loss, resilience survives. The crash of Air India Flight 171 is now the deadliest involving a Boeing 787. 260 lives lost, families torn apart, a nation left in mourning. But from this tragedy comes a call for change. Stricter safety checks, accountability from airlines and manufacturers, and above all, the lesson that no warning in aviation can be ignored. For the families of Flight 171, the loss can never be replaced. Yet their story will forever remind the world of the cost of neglect and the importance of vigilance in the skies. This was the story of Air India Flight 171, a flight that should have crossed continents, but instead became a chapter of tragedy written in the skies above Ahmedabad.